Welcome to Part 2 training of the 1-month enrollment roster, also known as OMER, presented by Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Programs, ODE CMP. During this training, we will demonstrate how to complete the CACFP 1-month enrollment roster OMER Excel file. Sponsors must use the 1-month enrollment roster OMER form that has been developed by Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Program. Let's take a look at the website and location of the form. If you type www.ode.state.or.us/go/CACFP, then on the right-hand side of the screen, under Resources, click on Forms and Documents. You will see a 1-month enrollment roster section. Click on the Excel document below the section. Now the Excel file is open and you can see the CACFP 1-month enrollment roster. You'll notice at the bottom of the Excel document is an Instruction tab and several Site tabs. Let's take a look at the Instruction tab. Here you will see detailed step-by-step instructions. It is important that you follow the instructions to complete the OMER. Another great feature on the Instruction tab is a link to the Center Manual. When you click on the manual icon, it will open to the Center Manual located on the ODE website. If you scroll down to the table of contents, you will see Chapter 4, 1-month enrollment report. Click on that chapter and that will open up to give you more details about the OMER. If you would like further training how to utilize the Center Manual, please visit our training webpage at www.ode.state.or.us/go/CACFP training. Now let's click on the Site tab. Here you'll see the site-specific OMER. Please note that each site must be entered separately on a tab. If you're a single site sponsor, you only need to complete one tab. If you're a multi-site sponsor and need more site sheets, you can add a sheet by right-clicking on the site sheet, then click Move or Copy. Click on the site name, then check the box next to Create a Copy and select OK. You have now successfully copied a site sheet. Now let's get started. When you get ready to develop your OMER, print off the instruction page so you can follow the step-by-step instructions. When you open the Excel file, Enable Content may appear in the yellow bar at the top of the document. Click on Enable Content to ensure the Excel file functions correctly. Complete and save this workbook every October. New sponsors and new sites will complete this workbook for the first month of participation. To save the document, click on File, then select Save As. Select the location to save the file. We're going to save our document on the desktop. Name the file with the month and year, and then click on Save. You've successfully saved the 1-month enrollment roster. Remember, for a multi-site sponsor, you will complete a CACFP 1-month enrollment roster for each approved site. Use a separate tab for each site. Rename the tab for each site with the CMP website name or number. You can rename each tab with your site name by clicking on the tab, then right-clicking on your mouse. Then you will click on Rename. Now you can rename each tab with your site name. Our site name is ABC Care. Now we will begin to develop the example OMER. Now you'll enter your agency sponsor name. Our agency sponsor name is We Care Incorporated. Next, enter the CMP site name, which is ABC Care. This worksheet has drop-down boxes to provide some answers. To activate the information, click on the cell and an arrow will appear to the right. Click on the arrow to see the options for the cell. Next, select the CMP site type from the drop-down box. The drop-down box includes Child Care Centers, Head Start, Outside School Hours Centers, and Adult Daycare Center. If you select Outside School Hours Center or Adult Daycare Centers, you will notice the CACFP enrollment date column turns gray because these sites are not required to enter a date in the column. Outside school hours and adult daycare centers are required to collect enrollment documents for each participant that show the participant is registered for care. These sites may use their own enrollment documents. For this training, we are going to select Adult. Next, select the month from the drop-down box. For new sponsors or sites, select the first claiming month. For current sponsors, select October, and for-profit sponsors, select the current month. For this training, we are a current sponsor, so we are going to select October. Then select the year from the next drop-down box. Select the current year, not the CACFP fiscal year, so we have selected 2014. In the next column, sponsors may select from the drop-down box either date of signature of adult household member or date of determining official signature. This selection must be applied consistently across all participants and sites. We are going to utilize the date of signature of adult household member. Next is the OMER block, the 1-month enrollment report. The cells for free, reduced price, and above scale will automatically fill based on the information in the roster of the participants that we will enter below. You will not enter any numbers in these cells. You will enter the totals from these cells in your CMP web claim for the designated site. Now we will enter the name of the sponsor representative who completed the form. Our sponsor representative's name is Sue Jones. Then you enter the date the form was completed. Sue completed our form on November 2nd, 2014. The next box on the OMER is for-profit sites only. It is the box for total Title 2019 beneficiaries, which will automatically fill based on information in the roster of the participants. You will not enter any numbers in these cells. You'll enter the total from these cells in your CMP web claim for the designated site. Please keep in mind, this is for-profit sites only. Next is the certification box. You'll need to complete this step after all of the information is entered on the roster. This is to certify that all of the enrollment and eligibility information for current participants is true and correct. The fields in the column roster number are locked. This number allows you to count names, participants on the roster. The column CIS-CEF number is used to connect confidential income statements, CIS, when applicable, for each participant, and to connect the participants to the CACFP 1-month enrollment roster. If you don't have a CIS form, please leave this column blank. In the upper right-hand corner of the CIS document is a line labeled OMER roster number. For this training, we'll enter example information to show you how the OMER Excel file operates. We enter the assigned CIS number from the form into the CIS-CEF number column for each participant that has a CIS. The first example is Mary Smith, with a 1 on the OMER roster number line on the CIS, so we'll enter 1 in the CIS-CEF column. Participant name. In the last name and first name columns, enter the last name and first name of every participant who could be in care anytime during the report period and has a current complete enrollment document on file with the sponsor. Our CIS is from last name Smith, first name Mary. The next column, eligibility determination. F equals free, RP equals reduced price, AS equals above scale. Place a number, 1, or an X in the correct box for the approved eligibility category using the most recent CIS on file with the sponsor. Mary Smith is determined to be reduced price. We have marked the reduced price column. Next is CIS determination date column. In this column, you would enter the effective date of income eligibility determination using the date of the signature of adult household member or the determining official signature, depending on your selection in the first row of the OMER. This selection must be applied consistently across all participants and sites. Please remember, the CIS must be approved by the determining official no later than the last day of the reporting period. For example, if a CIS is to be used for the October claim month, the determining official must have signed and dated the CIS no later than October 31st. We have selected signature of adult household. Mary Smith's date is signature of adult household is September 15th, 2014. Other eligibility determined date column. In this column, you would enter the determination date from other eligibility documentation in this column. For Mary Smith, we would leave this blank because we used a CIS form to determine eligibility. For adult daycare centers, see Chapter 21 for other allowable eligibility documentation and the CACFP Center Manual for a list of allowable documentation. The next column, Current CACFP Enrollment Date, is for child care centers and Head Start programs only. Adult daycare sponsors must have a method to show the date the participant was enrolled at the site. Whatever method you have must be available for review at any time by an assigned specialist. Please review Section C in Chapter 21 of the manual to ensure all enrollment records has the required information. The next column, For-Profit Sites Only, Subsidized Care, Title 19 Payment Date. Sponsors using Title 19 to determine for-profit eligibility for claiming purposes will enter the subsidized care payment date for the claim month in this column. The Transfer or Drop Date column. Enter the date that the participant transferred from the site or left the program. And then the last column. If needed, write relevant notes about a participant. In this column, you will also note the documentation used for other eligibility determination. Now I'm going to enter in a few more participants using sample information. Let's look at the CIS for Jimmy Hernandez. Jimmy was assigned the OMER number 2. I have entered 2 in the CIS CEF column and entered Hernandez Jimmy. His CIS eligibility determination is free. I use the date of signature of adult household member from the form as we need to use this selection consistently. This is August 17, 2014. The next 3 examples are Amanda White, Gary Jones, and Missy Thomas. All 3 of these participants qualify for free because of Medicaid. So we'll leave the CIS CEF column blank and enter last name of White, first name of Amanda, mark free column, and then we'll leave the CIS determination date blank. Now we'll enter the date that we received Medicaid determination date. Amanda is August 12, 2014. Then in the note column, we'll enter Medicaid, so we know what other eligibility determination was used. Now we'll enter the information for Jones, Gary, mark free, enter September 1st, 2014 as other eligibility determination date since that is the date for Medicaid, then enter Medicaid in the notes column. The same process will be followed for Missy Thomas. The last example is Georgia Lincoln that did not return a CIS form and did not qualify by other eligibility. We'll leave the CIS CEF column blank, then enter last name of Lincoln, first name of George. We would mark above scale. This is what the OMER looks like when all of the fields from our examples are populated. The total of 4 free, 1 reduced price, and 1 above scale are automatically calculated for us. Please be sure to have another person double check that all of the information was accurately documented on the OMER before the numbers are transferred to the October claim in CMP Web. We have one more step to complete on this document. We need to certify that all of the enrollment and eligibility information for current participants is true and correct, and that records are available to support this document. To certify, click on the drop-down box and click Yes. The numbers of free, reduced price, and above scale are ready to be transferred onto the October claim in CMP Web. The Excel file will automatically flag errors. If you select more than one eligibility determination, the form will highlight the error red. If you forget to mark any determination, the form will also turn red. All records highlighted in red must be corrected before submitting the OMER numbers in CMP Web. You may also see boxes turn yellow. This means that you should evaluate the information because it may be in error. It is not necessary to correct yellow boxes, but you need to check the information. An example of a yellow box would be if you marked a participant free, the CIS determination date box will turn yellow. When you enter a drop or transfer date, the box will turn purple. If a box is gray, the information in that box is not required to be entered. For all for-profit sites, this roster is also your monthly for-profit eligibility roster. Each month of the fiscal year, you will create a new workbook, one worksheet for every approved site, starting with the month prior to CACF approval or October, whichever is latest. Keep your OMER in the documentation for 3 years plus the current year. ODE CMP does not have access to your OMER report. All documentation must be available for review during the administrative review or desk audit by an assigned specialist. ODE CMP does not need a copy submitted unless requested. The OMER is available on the ODE CMP website. Please contact your assigned specialist if you have any additional questions or need further assistance with the completion of the 1-month enrollment roster. Thank you for completing Part 2 of the OMER training. We greatly appreciate all that you do to fuel Oregon's future.